Ever feel like your ADHD has you running in circles? Or maybe you're a girly who is looking for some non medical alternatives, some natural alternatives. So today, I am sharing the top strategies that I've used that have kept me thriving, focused, and sane. And trust me, some of these just might surprise you. So, hey, beautiful souls. It is Shaneequa, the founder of Gurl Use Your Voice and the Dean of Purpose Brand University. So, listen, I know firsthand how difficult it can be to navigate your life with ADHD. As someone who has been on this roller coaster ride my whole life, most of it unknowingly, anybody else? Juggling entrepreneurship and personal growth, maybe even a full time job, motherhood on top of all that. And oh, yeah, that lovely week before your period when everything goes haywire. Can I get an amen? So I can tell you that relying solely on medication is not the answer. And maybe you don't even want to try medication. Now, I am a girlie who is on a stimulant, so I'm not knocking medication at all. But I do know, like I said, during those before your period days, medication takes a vacation. So, after digging back through what has worked my life, why I was able to mask and still get by, I have pulled out some of those natural strategies that have been a total game changer for me. And hopefully, by the end of this video, they will be a total game changer for you. So today I am pulling back the curtain on those things that have kept me intentional, focused, and in alignment with my purpose. Y'all ready? Let's dive in. But before we go any further, if you're craving more real talk about ADHD, some tips, and empowerment strategies, I'm going to invite you to hit that subscribe button and tap that notification bell. And y'all, don't keep all these goodies to yourself. If you know someone who is out there on that ADHD struggle bus, share this video with them because we can all use a little extra support on our ADHD journey. All right, let's go. Let me put a quick disclaimer right here because these first three strategies you're not going to want to hear. We've heard them our entire life, but I promise I'm going to talk about it in a different way so that you can reframe it in your brain and actually help your brain do more than go insane in the membrane. Any other 90 kids here? Oh, I crack me up. All right, so first up, movement is medicine. I know you're probably thinking, but Shaneequa, you are a little robust, honey. You're a little voluptuous. You got a little more cushion. I ain't gonna finish this sentence. Now, let me just say real quick one, that's none of your business. And two, I need to make it my business. And three, and here's the truth, y'all, physical health is mental health. So, let me tell you a little story. I am a storyteller. So, story time. Back in 2022, I heard a message from God. Now, y'all, this isn't a crazy thing, I promise you. I was going through one of those really bad breakup times. It was my first, it wasn't my first. It was like the worst thing I'd ever been through. But I was also extremely unhealthy. If I have the storage space to insert that picture my daughter took of me, I will put it right here. But y'all, when you see yourself every day, you have no idea what you look like. But I was extremely unhealthy. And ever since I became a teacher, I had also had high blood pressure. I didn't have it before becoming a teacher. I didn't have it the first 2, 3 years of being a teacher, but I developed it when I changed schools and it became extremely high pressure. So at just the age of 30, so early. So just at the age of like 30, 31, I was put on blood pressure pills and I have not been able to get rid of that ever since. Life has become a high stress roller coaster machine, a high stress speed bullet train ever since. If you're American, you know what I'm talking about. This country has been tumultuous. let's get off of it. But one day in March of 2022, at the very, very beginning, I heard, you better get moving. You better get into the gym. And I was scared because I know whenever I hear from God, something's about to go down. So, being completely obedient, I went ahead and signed up for the gym, and then I started going. I made it very, very easy because we ADHD people, we can talk ourselves out of things. So as soon as I dropped my kids off for so I was going to say for work, but I guess it is the work. But as soon as I dropped my kids off for school, I would go straight to the gym. I wouldn't even go anywhere else. I would already be dressed so that it was not a longer process, right? Well, fast forward a week or two later, I am at the doctor's office and they're telling me that, oh, actually, I think this happened around the same time of hearing that message. But they told me that I had to get a stress test because my blood pressure was crazy and my EKG was looking a little funny. So I was like, oh, God, so this must be why you told me this. So I'm going to the gym. I think I'm like a weekend at this time. And so by the time I had my appointment for the stress test, we are like 3 weeks into me going to the gym. I'm working out. This is a real, real key point, y'all. I don't even have it on my list of things to talk about, but I'm going to say it right fast. Real key point here is that you can't just change your physical, you can't just change your food, you also have to change your mind. And so I changed my mental diet. I stopped consuming negative things such as gossipy shows or giving into commenting on negative things on social media. And instead, when I was working out, I was plugging in. I got an Audible account, and I'll link one down below so that you can get one as well. But I got an Audible account and I started listening to audiobooks. And before this, I wasn't into audiobooks, especially if those people were slow. But then I learned two speed, y'all. So if you are a fast brain person like me, are going to want to listen on two speed, right? So I started working out, I started plugging in. And then by the time I had my stress test, everything was good. And y'all, it was more than good because I had been documenting my journey along the way, taking pictures. Because, like I said, when you look in the mirror, you don't see any difference. But one of my pictures was like next to each other, and I was like, ooh, something's happening. And fast forward 12 weeks, and I was 40 pounds lighter. I'm now 25 pounds heavier, so I got to get that back off. But I was 40 pounds lighter, y'all. I went from 264 to 223. If I have the storage space, I will share it with you. I promise. Otherwise, I will link it down below, straight to my personal Instagram account, so that you can see I wasn't lying. That I'm not lying. Okay. So when I tell you that physical health is mental health, I promise you it's so true because I got through this hard time because I fed myself something different: positivity, inspiration, motivation, empowerment. I listened to memoirs and sermons and business books. It it was such a transformational time for me. So movement really is the medicine, and it's not about losing weight. Please understand, that's not all I got out of it. I didn't lose weight. I became healthier because I still ate some of the things that I wanted, but I had to be intentional. Matter of fact, y'all, I created a journal based off of this. I won't say experiment, this lifestyle change that I made. Since then, y'all, life got extremely, extremely, extremely stressful and took away my ability to do things like go to the gym. And this may sound like an excuse, but my body has different aches in different places. Like, what do you call that thing? Arthritis, bone spurs, something wrong with my knee. Like, I got things going on that I don't really like. So, machine assisted exercise is what I need. I get that other people can do it other ways, but that's not me. Not right now, and not ever. It just hasn't been. Um, I walk, and so y'all will see me on my walk and talk. So I do that. But strength is so important to shaping your body the way you actually want it to be. Y'all, I don't want to keep going on this. I think I'll make a whole separate video of this, but I'm gonna leave this in for you. And let me show you the journal real quick that I made, and then we'll get going. All right, so again, totally unplanned. So this is the journal that I created. Y'all see my name. This is the journal that I created based off of my journey because there were just so many steps that were really important to it, such as, like I said, the mental diet. So you see there? Mental diet, right? And then tracking my emotions and starting to understand my emotions. And at this time, I was like a year into my ADHD diagnosis. So it was really important that I started to come back to myself and get to know myself. What do I like? What don't I like? Like experiencing those things. And also through this time, I got even closer to God and started. Well, actually, I was doing it like the year before, but journaling to God. And so I made sure to include in this journal an area for you to write to God. So I would always start my journal off with Dear God. And so I have that here inside of this journal for you as well. And what I think I'm going to do though is I don't know if I'll do it on this account or if I'll do it on my other account to resurrect it, but I'm going to start doing my 40 days because this is about 40 days. Granted, like I said, it took me 12 weeks before, but I'm going to start doing this because you get to track your food, you get to track your fitness, you get to track your goals and your hydration, because that's what we're about to talk about. So you get to track all those things in this Dear God prayer journal. So this is for my spiritual girlies. I hate my nails. That's my stem. So this is for my spiritual girlies. I'm going to link this below so you can grab this too. Let's move on. So in going to the gym, one of the things I had learned, and I never felt this way before, but I love the gym. Like I loved it. I created a routine because I do suspect that I have ADHD. I'm sorry, I do suspect that I have autism because I already have ADHD. But now that my ADHD is treated, that autism stuff is like, hey, I'm here too, and I'm like, oh, I didn't know that. And so, the autism part loves routines. So I started creating a routine when I went to the gym of doing 20 minutes of cardio. I would typically do the bike because me and the elliptical, we enemies. And me and the Stairmaster, we don't ever see each other at all. But anyway, so I would do 20 minutes of cardio, only 20 minutes of cardio, and then I would go straight to strength. And my rule, my structure, my routine was that I had to do 5 machines. And I would rotate each day because I went 5 times a week because I just fell in love with the gym. Because again, I was feeding my brain and helping my body and getting cut the way I wanted to get cut. I didn't realize how important strength was, but y'all, it really is. So I would make sure that I went on 5 machines. Sometimes it'll be arm machines, other times it'll be leg machines, other times it'll be like back and core. And so I was doing all that kind of stuff, but I always did leg press because I loved my legs. My legs were feeling so sexy, y'all. Anyway, I don't want to make this about fitness. You know what? I really do want to document my fitness journey. I don't know if that I think I don't know where I'll put it. If y'all want to be a part of my fitness journey, let me know and maybe I'll put it here because I don't think I have bandwidth or capacity to do another channel, especially because I don't want to do it forever. But the problem is once you're fat, fitness is forever. So like I said, I fell in love with the gym and y'all, I would get so much clarity. My mind would stop being like this static radio, the fog would lift, and then I would feel so good because I would basically get rid of some of that cortisone stress hormone and then would be releasing the endorphins. And so I would go home. I don't understand how people say they get energized. I don't. I get fully relaxed. I just noticed that everything about me is opposite of what normal people are. But I would be able to go home and get to work. And it would like calm my thoughts, especially when I had my drink that I'll talk about in a little bit. And so fitness became such a big, big, big part of my life until I had surgery. And that's how I got derailed. I had an abdominal surgery, not bariatric. I had planned to get bariatric, but then I saw my work was working. So I didn't get bariatric, but I had an abdominal surgery for hernia. I had a blockage and it just threw me all the way off. So think of movement like the refresh for your brain. It doesn't have to be complicated. You can dance, you can walk, you can do some yoga poses, whatever it is that gets you moving. That's what you need to do. When you start your day with exercise, you might find that it helps you stay a little bit more calm, let your brain clear up, and get your work done. For me, it just sets the tone for a very, very, very productive day. So if you're feeling a little energized and thinking about getting moving, go ahead and hit that like button so we can get moving together on this channel as well as in life. All right, so let's move on to number 2. Again, it's one of the things that you don't want to hear because you've heard it before, but we got to talk about why it's so important, and that is nourish to flourish. So let's talk about fueling our bodies. The thing that I learned over the last few years is that what I put inside my body directly impacts my brain. Yes, I was a little late learning that, but it was a big mind shift for me. Because listen, there was a phase in my life, especially as a person who couldn't cook, that processed foods, microwavables, and fast food were my go tos. Why? Because they were quick, they were easy, and somebody else cooked it because the ancestors do not talk to me. They don't. They don't tell me which seasoning, they don't tell me how much. So I can look at a full cupboard and go, there's nothing to eat. But the problem with that is that they would leave me feeling sluggish, sleepy, cloudy, with no chance of meatballs. And crack me up. So when I've slowly cut them out, it was like realizing, especially as I started introducing them back in, because I think I did a fast, is how I knew about the gluten, the wheat part. Yeah, I fasted off of bread, I think, for 40 days. And when I started introducing it back in, I realized that I was foggy. And as I get a little bit older, I understand that it's also keeping me inflamed. But the other big thing, y'all, when it comes down to nutrition, is hydration. I know some of y'all hate the word water. I love water. I live in Miami, so we're on a natural aquifer, and the water here is just good. Other places, I understand because in Orlando, it tastes like pure metal. No, thank you. No, thank you. But girl, one thing you need to know is that your brain is like a beautiful houseplant with emotions. It needs water to thrive and survive. It is floating in it. We got to replenish it. So listen, I carry my water everywhere, like it's an extension of me, like it's another arm. It goes in my bag, it's in my pocket. I don't go anywhere without water because I'm the person, I hate to feel parched. I hate it. And I don't drink soda. So I need something that's just refreshing and will actually quench my thirst. So I love water. But I know some of y'all out there hate water. And one of the things that you could do, this nice little tip, is you can jazz it up. They make water packets. You can get Crystal Light, you can get the Skittles pack that my kids like, and I think my mom likes it too, and she's a big soda fanatic. But I like to jazz it up with my energy drink because I hate coffee, hate the smell of it. I don't understand how y'all drink that stuff. It's like sludge, whatever. But I hate coffee. So I still need my energy, and I'm not into those other energy drinks that eat your teeth, your enamel. So there is this particular energy drink that I have been drinking for the last 6 years that just works for me so beautifully. I'll link it below so that you can check it out yourself. Again, any supplements that I share, please share with your doctor so they can tell you whether or not it's going to impact any medicines that you may be on. But if you're not on any medicines, girl, check it out. So what I add to my water is Electra Fuel. But I also add another one, and this one is called Core AO. Now, I used to be a part of a MLM 6 years ago, and that's where I discovered these things. And what I love about it is that it is freeze dry. Like it was some kind of proprietary thing that they did where they hooked up with NASA and they figured out how to get the full fruit but freeze dried, and that way you got all the nutrients. But it wasn't snake oil or anything. It was something that just absolutely worked. Like I am a person who wakes up sluggishly. I learned that I had sleep apnea. And so like the energy drink just really helps. And what you do is you put a little bit. You don't put a lot. You put a little bit in your water. I mix these two because this is a super antioxidant, and because it's also made with mangosteen, it's also an anti-inflammatory. It works for me. I got the range of motion of my knee back thanks to this. I don't move like an 80-year-old and I have arthritis in my back. But anyway, I put a little bit. Okay, a little bit. Like I pinch it where I don't want it to go out, and then I put just a little bit. And so I do my water so it's like this color. If it gets any darker, I will split it into 2 water bottles because I might have poured too much. But this is all I need, and it gets me by for the day. Like I love it. But it also tastes like a juice, right? And I just love it. So it'll be linked below. You guys can check it out. Please don't miss the fact that we're like 70% water, just like this earth. And so if the earth doesn't have enough water, it goes dry. And so do we. Why create a drought when you don't need to? And also, y'all, you can get water from things like fruit, such as watermelon. You got places to get water. Get your water. But here's the other thing, y'all. So if we're talking food and we're talking water, we also need to talk about your vitamins. You have to find out whether or not you have any deficiencies. Women in general, for vitamin D, we tend to be deficient, even if we are living in Miami and getting the sun. I also learned that some melanated people tend to have a harder time processing the sun. It's a weird thing. I don't know. Apparently, it's true. So vitamin D tends to be low. If you're a person like me, like my fingertips are really cold right now, then you might be iron deficient. So you'll need to either do like the fusions or the supplements for that. So get your levels checked, your vitamin levels, your hormone levels, get them all checked so that you can start creating a manual for yourself. We didn't come with a owner's manual when we were born, but we can certainly create one now that we need to figure out how to get the best, how to squeeze all the juice out of this life. We can't squeeze it if we don't have energy for it. So do that, y'all. So wrapping this section up, like I really realized that I couldn't have bread in the morning. So I didn't do pancakes. I usually do like eggs, bacon, fruit, simple sugars, stuff like that, because the carbs and stuff would cloud my brain. So you really want to look into what kind of food fuels your body versus which ones weigh you down. And that is just going to help you start to live a better life, even with your ADHD, like especially with your ADHD. It's really about tuning into your body's needs and creating that owner's manual, like I said. All right, so I do have a hack that's coming up. It's a really good tip and it's super, super fun. And most people don't talk about it. And so you're going to want to stick around and stay tuned because I'm going to give it to you. So stay tuned to the end because it's fun. All right, so now let's talk about number 3 here. Again, this is one of the things you've heard before. I'm going to tell you why it's important. Because, y'all, sleep is your secret weapon. We got to get real. Sleep is non negotiable. Now, I know as ADHD people, we do tend to be a little deficient on sleep because we're having to operate in a society that doesn't fit our circadian rhythm. Yes. And then I know that some of us who are ADHD moms, we have rebellious bedtimes, meaning that when everybody is down, we don't want to go down either. We want to stay up. We want to have quiet time, that nobody needs me time. And so we might be a little rebellious. And I, for one, am a grown up. I'm not going to bed at 9 o'clock. That was my childhood bedtime. Why would I do that? However, and so I do stay up to like 1 or 2, sometimes 3 or 4 o'clock in the morning when I'm working, but I do still get my sleep in. I get up, make sure my kids are ready and off to school, and then I go back down for another couple hours and then I get back up for work. So this is something I had to learn how to do though, because as an entrepreneur, especially with all the messages of sleep when you're dead, hustle and grind, team no sleep, like those type of things, I burnt myself out. Literally, it took me 2 to 3 years to recover from burnout. I'm not doing that again. And so I had to realize that rest is productive. Rest is also biblical because, hello, on the 6th day, even God rested. All right. And that wasn't for church because he was the church. He rested. He gave his body, his brain time to rest. Also, y'all, sleep is so important because our CPUs, our brains, our computer processing units, our mechanical things that get things done in our bodies has to rest too. Otherwise, you're going to get that blue screen of death and you're going to hate it because then that means you're going to go into burnout and it's going to take 3 years for you to reboot. We don't want that happening to you like it happened to me. So sleep is important. Sleep is productive. Sleep is necessary. So you want to protect and put a boundary around your sleep. Here's a quick tip though. You don't need to have all your sleep in one straight shot. You don't have to sleep 6 to 8 hours straight. You can sleep 3, 4. You can compile them, like picking up these little health kits when you're playing a game. You can compile them. Just get that daily total that you need for your body and your brain to reset and recover and rest. So, one of the things you want to start doing is to help you prioritize sleep is to start putting in a routine. It could be dimming the lights. It could be putting the phone away an hour before bedtime. It could be reading your book, getting your eyes tired from the muscles that it was using. For me, those things used to work as a child. And I will tell you my biggest tip again in a few minutes because that's what really sets my routine going of getting to bed and going to bed. But it could be a scent thing for you. So you can do aromatherapy. You don't need to take supplements such as like melatonin and all that stuff. You need to create a routine that actually works with you, your brain, and your body. But it's something you have to do enough so that it becomes a trigger in your brain that, oh, it's bedtime, just like how we do for kids, right? It could be just the habit of brushing your teeth, taking a bath with some scented oil or whatever, then reading a good book, and then going to bed. That could be your routine, but you're getting your body used to it. Okay. So do what works for you, but do it. Do it. So it's just way past important for you to prioritize your sleep, even your daytime naps. Because, y'all, there's no guilt in giving your body what it needs. It just isn't. Because, bottom line, you can't pour from an empty cup. You should know this. And not only know this, but respect this about your body. Okay? You don't want it keeping score and then coming at the end of the game going, remember me? You don't want that. And when you don't get sleep, y'all, you become everybody else's nightmare. Not only can you not focus or get your work done at the optimal level, like you'll even trick yourself into thinking stuff looks good and it really, really doesn't, but you become this irritable beast that nobody wants to be around. And potentially, this does happen, is that some people who get like no sleep for hours, like not hours, but like days, weeks straight, what ends up happening to them is their body goes into the blue screen of death. It's like, okay, so you want to deplete me? Here we go. You don't want that to happen. No. So let me know then if you are with me on getting more sleep, on letting this body be taken care of. If you are, comment sweet dreams down below, or drop that bed emoji if you don't feel like typing all those words. Let me know I'm not alone in saying we need sleep, and we are going to take it. All right, now let's move on to number 4. I know I said the first 3 were going to be things that you heard before and don't want to hear again, but I'm going to sneak this one in. So number 4 is going to be about time management and external support. So let's talk about time, or as I call it, the disappearing act. How many of you have ever sat down to get your work done? You look at the clock, it's like 2:52, and you start to work, and next thing you know, you look at the clock, it's like 6:47. Where did the time go? If you like really identify with that, y'all, welcome to the club. Because time blindness is real. And it is something that we can actually help ourselves with if we start to use these things called external supports. Now, one of the ones that I've been doing since I was a kid, didn't know I was doing it, is body doubling. Now, body doubling is a lifesaver. As a child, what I used to do is I wouldn't do my homework and we would have a test the next day. And then I would tell people, let me quiz you. And so the student becomes the teacher, and I would learn as I was teaching. That was just a trick that I would do to get the studying done because I could not study on my own. Well, fast forward, as an entrepreneur, I used to host power hours. So we would all get together on Zoom and then just get whatever we're done, whatever we said we need to get done in the next hour, we would get it done. And we would report and give accountability for that. So body doubling is just having somebody else in the room, whether physically or virtually, right? So for me, that somebody can be, like I said, on a Zoom call, on a phone call, in person, or even me just listening to someone with some novelty, like a podcast or a YouTube where I'm learning something new from some really interesting people. The objective of body doubling is to be held accountable. And so shout out to my accountability partners. Thank y'all so much for help and for helping me get these videos done. But let's not forget about timers. Like when I was growing up, I wondered like how were we able to stay on time for a lot of things? And I remembered that my mother had clocks all around the room. And this was something that I actually got from therapy that was actually helpful. I usually don't find therapy helpful. But it was when the therapist noted that I might be a person who needed an external clock, not just a digital one. And it was like a big what? And that's when the memory of my mother came up. And so what used to happen is my mother would set the clock at some random time before what time it actually was. So we didn't know what time it was. And so we would be racing the clock. And it worked. Like even now for appointments, I set it random. I just don't set it at the actual time. That is something that helps me stay from falling inside of the rabbit hole and getting lost in a hyper focus mode. Another thing too that helps is using a timer to do things that you really don't want to do. Like I hate cleaning, I hate folding clothes, I hate washing dishes. Like I hate doing these things that are mundane and never ending. So if you set a timer like a Pomodoro timer, which is 25 minutes or 50 minutes, with rest time in between where you do none of that stuff so that you can just come back and pick it up again. That has been a very useful timer or a useful strategy, especially when I'm writing. So it's like having this gentle nudge to remind you to switch gears. So you could either go back to the thing that you were doing or go, time for something else and move on to something else. And you can cycle your tasks, your responsibilities based off that timer. Now, like I said, I've used these tools for everything from tackling a mountain of clothes, washing the dishes, etc., to even mapping out my business strategies. It's amazing how much focus you can get when you understand that you're not going to be doing it forever. So, listen, don't forget to subscribe if you want to hear some more real talk about ADHD strategies and how to thrive in your life. I'm here for you. So, hit that button. All right, number 5, brain games. This is my number one hack for going to bed. And it's so, so, so fun. I think of my brain like a toddler, right? And so I need to wear my toddler out. So as a mom, when we need to wear out our kids, we take them to the park, we take them to pool time, we do whatever we can to wear those physical bodies down. But what we also don't realize is that we're also wearing out their mind so that they can shut it down and take a nap. Notice how it works. I'm a big fan of word games and logic games, things that make you think and not just zone out. So like Sudoku, word search, crossword puzzles, Wordle, etc. And so my New York Times app is like really, really good for that because I get to do the different games until my mind goes, all right, it's bedtime. Now, let me tell you, I have my brain so trained that the only time we played this game was when we were going to bed. That when I accidentally played it during the daytime, I found myself waking up from a nap that I did not know I was taking, that I did not even plan to take. You want to make sure that whatever routine you set for yourself, you save that only for the time that you want to go to bed. All right. Now, these games are a perfect low stakes way to transition from the hustle of the day to the rest time of the night. Plus, y'all, they keep my brain sharp, and I am such a stickler about trying to protect my brain from any brain issues. Another keynote here, it has to be something that is finite. You cannot be playing games that give you like free life or stuff like that because now your ADHD is like, ooh, let's use it all because I don't want to waste it. So you cannot do those things like Candy Crush or any of the things like that. It needs to be something that is finite, that ends, that ta-da, you're done, that kind of thing. So there you have it, beautiful people. Managing ADHD does not have to solely rely on medication alone. You've got natural tricks and hacks to get it done. So whether you're just looking for an alternative to actually taking medicine, or like me, on those pre-cycle weeks, you need an extra boost to help your medicine out, try one of these. Movement, nourishing your body, prioritizing your sleep, using external supports, and wearing out your brain, some brain games. These things can make a world of difference. So let's talk about your action items. Action item number 1, plan a daily 20-minute moving activity that you'll actually enjoy. Told you, I fell in love with the gym. Didn't know that was going to happen. 2, evaluate your diet for processed foods and improve your water intake. 3, establish a wind down technique that will help you improve your sleep. 4, set a timer for your next task. And try body doubling with a friend, or like I said, a podcast, a video, something that is novel and will have you learning while you are doing your mundane activities. 5, try incorporating a brain game into your wind down bedtime routine. If you're hungry for more tips on thriving in your business with ADHD while you build your dream business, I'm going to invite you to drop down into the description below and click the link that's going to give you my free guide, the 5 steps to align your business with your purpose and get paid. So now I want to hear from you. Which strategies are you going to try first? Or do you know some strategies I don't know? I would love to learn from you as well. So drop in the comments below, spill the tea, give the goods. Let's grow together. And if this video resonated with you, you're going to love this next one that YouTube has said is the right one for you to watch next. So go ahead and click the link and get to watching. Oh, wait, but before you do that, I need you to remember, girl, use your voice. Bye now.